Could you be holding a Jefferson Nickel worth real money right now? Most people walk right past these coins every single day, but a few rare Jefferson Nickels hiding in pockets, jars, and old change can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And today, I'm going to reveal exactly which ones to look for, why they're so valuable, and how a simple 5-cent coin can turn into life-changing treasure. So stay with me all the way through this video, because every second has a clue that could help you find a valuable nickel sitting in your home right now. And before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to Coins Most Valuable so you never miss the rare coins that Americans are cashing in big on today. Coin number 1, the 1964 Jefferson Nickel with the no-mintmark, may look like an ordinary 5-cent coin, but the truth is that this simple nickel carries one of the most surprising and misunderstood stories in modern American coinage. When people hear about valuable U.S. coins, they usually think of silver dollars or old cents from the early 1900s. But what most collectors completely overlook is how the 1964 Jefferson Nickel became one of the most talked about coins in circulation, and how a regular pocket change coin can be much more important than people think. When someone discovers a rare variety or a scarce strike, the value of a coin can rise far beyond what anyone expects. That is why understanding the 1964 Jefferson Nickel is so important, because once you know what to look for, you might realize you've had a valuable coin sitting quietly in your home this whole time. Many Americans still have jars and boxes filled with old change from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. In those piles of coins, the 1964 nickel appears more often than most, because 1964 was the highest mintage year in the entire Jefferson Nickel series. The U.S. Mint produced an enormous number of them, mostly to respond to fears of a national coin shortage at the time. People tend to assume that high mintage always means low value. But what they forget is that rarity is not only about mintage, it's also about survival, quality, striking strength, and the presence of special varieties. With the 1964 nickel, the value comes from a combination of these hidden factors, and some of these nickels can be worth far more than the average collector imagines. What makes this year special is that it marks the final production of Jefferson Nickels with their original pre-1965 composition before coinage changed for good. The 1964 nickel still carries the classic copper-nickel blend that Americans were familiar with, but the story behind its minting runs deeper. Production was rushed, dyes were overused, and the Denver Mint struggled to meet the massive demand. As a result, many 1964 nickels show soft details, weaker strikes, or worn dies. When a coin from a year like this appears sharply struck with full steps on Monticello, collectors pay attention instantly, because that condition is extremely hard to find. The rarity of fully detailed steps under Monticello is one of the key reasons this year has coins that soar in value. Full steps indicate that the coin was struck with exceptional precision, which was rare in 1964 due to the mint running dies longer than usual. That means the collector market places huge premiums on the few surviving examples that still show crisp details. When you take a coin that millions of people think is worth only 5 cents, and then combine it with this extreme condition rarity, the result is a hidden treasure that collectors chase restlessly. Another reason people underestimate the value of the 1964 nickel is because millions were saved, hoarded, and stored away when people thought silver coins were disappearing. But most were stored carelessly, thrown into jars, coffee cans, or boxes in garages and basements. Over time, they picked up scratches, discoloration, moisture damage, or heavy wear. A small number, however, escaped this damage, and it's these few that end up selling for strong prices today. Even lightly circulated examples can be worth more than face value if they show signs of better striking detail. Collectors also look for doubling varieties on the date or lettering, die cracks, die clashes over polished dies, and other mint-made errors from the massive 1964 production run. These varieties and errors catch the attention of specialists who know the hidden value in coins that look ordinary to the average eye. Some of these errors can increase the value significantly, especially when found on a coin with strong strike characteristics. One of the reasons the 1964 D nickel became so popular in the collector community is because it represents opportunity. Anyone, anywhere in America can find one. You can search rolls from banks, you can check old change, you can look through inherited collections, and you can find them almost anywhere. The excitement comes from the possibility that one of these nickels could be the rare condition or variety that pushes its value far beyond what you expect. Many collectors started their entire coin collecting journey simply because they found a surprisingly valuable 1964 D nickel. What makes this year even more fascinating is the ongoing conversations among collectors about the finest known examples. When a Jefferson nickel from this year appears with exceptional shine, flawless surfaces, and crisp steps, it becomes a centerpiece for advanced collectors who know how incredibly difficult that is to find. This combination of high mintage and low survival quality creates an intense market for truly premium examples. As the years passed, collectors began tracking the auction records for the 1964 D nickel. What they discovered shocked many people who had no idea that a common-looking nickel could achieve such staggering prices. Social media, news stories, and collector forums frequently discuss examples of Jefferson Nickels from the 60s selling for surprising amounts, and the 1964 D is almost always part of these conversations. The more people learn about this coin, the more they search their own change, hoping to uncover one of the rare, valuable examples. Values differ widely depending on condition. A worn example may be worth only a small premium, but an example with sharp steps, clean surfaces, and full mint brilliance can rise rapidly in value. Each small improvement in condition adds to the price, and collectors who study the details carefully often gain an advantage when evaluating these coins. This is why many people continue searching. They know one perfect example can change everything. The 1964 D nickel is valuable not only because of its rarity and top condition, but also because of the story behind its production, the errors created during the rush, and the difficulty of finding truly premium pieces today. It represents a moment in American history when the mint was pushed to its limits and created coins that today tell a story of scarcity within abundance. Even though the coin is everywhere, the rare top-tier examples are almost impossible to find. That contrast, common coin, rare perfection, is what drives the immense interest and strong prices today. And for anyone holding a 1964 D nickel, this makes it one of the most exciting coins to examine closely. And here is the incredible part that most viewers never expect. The highest price ever recorded for a 1964 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark reached an astonishing $550,000 at auction, proving why collectors never ignore this coin and why you should always check every detail carefully before assuming it's just a regular 5-cent piece. This is why the 1964 D Jefferson Nickel is considered one of the most surprising and valuable coins in modern U.S. circulation history. The fact that a coin minted in huge numbers can still reach extraordinary value shows how important it is for every viewer to pay attention, learn the signs, study the details, and understand that valuable coins still exist in everyday change. Anyone watching right now could easily have one of these nickels already without even knowing it, and that possibility is exactly what makes this coin so powerful, so exciting, and so important to every American collector and treasure hunter searching for real value hidden in plain sight. Coin number 2, the 1962 Jefferson Nickel, with the D mint mark, is one of those coins that so many Americans have seen, handled, or set aside without ever realizing the hidden value that could be sitting right in front of them. People often assume that nickels from the early 1960s are too common to be worth anything. But the truth is that this particular year and mint mark hold a story that continues to surprise collectors, treasure hunters, and anyone who loves discovering valuable coins in everyday change. The 1962 D nickel carries a history shaped by high production, uneven striking quality, and the rare survival of premium examples, and that combination creates real value that most people overlook. Millions of these coins were produced at the Denver Mint, and even though the mintage was large, the quality of the strikes varied dramatically. When the mint pushes production hard, dies wear out faster, details become softer, and coins begin losing the sharp definition that collectors desperately look for. This is exactly why the 1962 D nickel became so interesting. While millions were made, only a small number were struck with crisp details, smooth surfaces, and the highly desired steps on Monticello that collectors pay huge premiums for. That contrast between quantity and quality is what creates value. The average person sees a 1962 D nickel and thinks it is just a basic 5-cent coin. But collectors know that within these coins are rare varieties, unusual die states, and extremely well-preserved examples that can be worth far more than their face value. When a coin looks ordinary on the surface, but carries hidden details that elevate its worth dramatically, it becomes a perfect example of why coin collecting remains such an exciting hobby in America. People love the idea that a valuable coin might be hiding in a handful of pocket change, and the 1962 D nickel is exactly the kind of coin that makes that dream possible. Because it's from the early 1960s, many of these nickels were kept in drawers, jars, boxes, and family collections for decades. Some survived well, but many did not. The coins that were exposed to moisture, friction, or everyday handling picked up scratches, discoloration, or nicks that reduced their condition. But the few that escaped circulation were saved early or were discovered in untouched rolls are the coins that can become truly valuable today. In coin collecting, preservation is everything, and the 1962 D nickel proves just how much condition can separate an ordinary coin from an extraordinary one. Collectors especially focus on the steps of Monticello because sharp, complete steps show that the coin was struck with an unusual level of precision. For 1962 D, finding full steps is exceptionally difficult. The mint was pushing production heavily, and dies wore out quickly, leaving most coins with mushy or weak details. That means any example with full steps is rare and instantly desirable. When scarcity and demand meet, prices rise fast, and that's exactly what has happened with premium 1962 D nickels. Some coins from this year also show interesting die cracks, double die effects, and various forms of strike doubling. When these varieties appear on a well-preserved coin, their value increases even more. For collectors who specialize in Jefferson Nickels, the 1962 D offers a wide range of opportunities because each coin must be examined closely to identify special characteristics that the mint unintentionally created. Over the years, the reputation of this coin has grown. People who once ignored nickels from this era now search them carefully, knowing that rare high-grade examples can sell for strong premiums. As more collectors understand the importance of strike quality and full steps, the demand for the best surviving 1962 D nickels continues to increase. What once seemed like a common date is now recognized as a condition rarity, meaning that although millions exist, only a tiny handful are in the kind of condition collectors truly want. The excitement surrounding this coin also comes from the fact that anyone can find one. You don't need to buy expensive sets or hunt through dealer inventory. You can simply check old change jars, coin rolls from banks, or family savings that have been stored for years. The idea that someone can pull a valuable coin from an ordinary group of nickels makes this year especially interesting, and it keeps people searching with hope and curiosity. Collectors know that every detail matters with the 1962 D Jefferson Nickel. The shine, the surface texture, the shape of the lettering, the presence of steps, and the clarity of Jefferson's portrait all play an important part in determining value. These factors combine to create a market where a single perfect example can stand far above all the others. That is why collectors never ignore this date, no matter how common it may look at first glance. The more people study this coin, the more they realize that its value lies in rarity within condition, not just rarity in numbers. The mint may have produced many, but the survival of flawless examples is extremely limited. Coins that show razor-sharp detail, no marks, and full steps can be worth far more than many collectors expect. That is what continues to drive interest, excitement, and strong competition whenever a premium 1962 D nickel appears on the market. And here is the moment every viewer needs to pay attention to, because this is where the real shock comes in. The highest price ever recorded for a 1962 Jefferson nickel, with the D mint mark, reached an incredible $90,000, proving once again that a simple nickel from over 60 years ago can turn into serious money when the right conditions come together. This is exactly why the 1962 D Jefferson Nickel remains one of the most surprisingly valuable coins from the early 1960s. The combination of high mintage, low survival quality, rare varieties, and scarce full-step examples has turned this coin into a hidden treasure that people across America continue searching for. Anyone watching this video right now could easily have a 1962 D nickel already without knowing it, and that possibility makes this coin one of the most exciting and rewarding finds in U.S. circulation today. Coin number 3. The 1976 Jefferson Nickel with the D mint mark is one of those American coins that people handle every day without ever realizing that some rare examples from this year can be extremely valuable. Most people associate the year 1976 with the bicentennial quarters, halves, and dollars, and because the nickel did not get a special design, many collectors forget to look closely at it. But what most viewers don't know is that hidden within the regular circulation strikes of a 1976 D nickel are rare condition pieces, unique striking characteristics, and special qualities that make certain examples worth far more than anyone expects. That is what makes this coin so interesting. It hides in plain sight. Millions of these coins were made at the Denver Mint, and they were produced quickly as the Mint was dealing with massive demand for circulating coins during America's bicentennial era. When production runs fast, striking quality often drops. Dies wear out faster, details fade, and coins come out with weaker steps on Monticello. That means any example with a strong strike, sharp details, or full steps is extremely rare. These special coins become valuable simply because so few survived with the quality that collectors desperately look for today. Most 1976 D Jefferson Nickels that people find in circulation today appear worn, faded, scratched, or dull because they have been used for nearly half a century. That makes the surviving, uncirculated examples even more desirable. A tiny number were saved in rolls, sets, or private collections early on, and those coins are the ones that rise in value today. When viewers understand that coins from the 70s are old enough to show real scarcity in top condition, the importance of examining each detail becomes clear. Collectors especially focus on the steps of Monticello. Full steps are the key to unlocking high value for modern-era Jefferson Nickels. But for 1976 D, full steps are incredibly hard to find. The dies used at the Denver Mint that year were pushed too long, resulting in weak lower steps, blurred lines, and soft architecture details. That's why finding a 1976 D nickel with crisp steps is considered a major prize for collectors. Those few coins are so rare that they stand out immediately when they appear at auction. Some coins from this year also show subtle varieties, such as die deterioration doubling die cracks or polishing marks from overworked dies. These mint-made characteristics add uniqueness to the coin, and when they appear on an already well-preserved example, collectors become even more interested. A coin does not need an extreme error to be valuable. Sometimes the natural conditions of mint production create traits that raise the value of a specific example. People across America often have old jars, boxes, and containers filled with coins from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Inside those jars are often nickels from 1976, because nickels tend to sit in storage for decades without being sorted. This is what makes the 1976 D nickel such an exciting coin for collectors. Anyone watching right now may already have this coin at home without realizing it, and a rare high-quality example can be worth real money. The thrill of discovery is what drives the popularity of Jefferson Nickels from this era. Collectors know that every detail matters. The luster, the clarity of Jefferson's cheekbone, the rim quality, the sharpness of the building, and the preservation of the steps all contribute to value. When one of these coins appears flawless or close to flawless, it immediately becomes a standout piece. That separation between ordinary and extraordinary is why the 1976 D nickel can become so valuable in the right condition. Over time, auction houses and online collectors have shown increasing interest in high-grade Jefferson Nickels. This includes coins from the 70s that were once ignored but are now being recognized for their scarcity in premium condition. As grading standards become more precise and collectors appreciate the difficulty of finding full-step examples, prices continue rising. Many collectors who once overlooked this coin are now realizing just how rare top-quality 1976 D nickels really are. The beauty of a 1976 D nickel is that it teaches collectors a powerful lesson. Value is not always based on how old a coin is or how few were minted. Instead, value often comes from the survival of exceptional examples. When millions of coins are made, but only a tiny fraction survive in pristine condition, that is where the real treasure lies, and that is exactly what makes this coin so interesting to study and search for. The more collectors learn about this coin, the more they continue to search through rolls, collections, and change. The idea that something as simple as a nickel from 1976 can turn into real money is exciting, and that excitement pushes more people to examine every coin they find. With time, knowledge, and focus, finding one rare example can change everything. And now here is the part of the story that shocks many viewers. The highest price ever recorded for a 1976 Jefferson Nickel with the D mint mark reached an incredible $150,000, showing once again that a modern circulating coin can become extremely valuable when preserved in exceptional condition. This is exactly why the 1976 D. Jefferson Nickel continues capturing the attention of collectors across the United States. It looks simple on the outside, but it carries hidden rarity, surprising value, and a level of condition scarcity that pushes its finest examples into the world of truly valuable coins. Anyone watching this right now could already have one of these coins without realizing it, and that possibility makes the 1976 D nickel one of the most exciting and rewarding finds in American circulation today. Coin number 4, the 1969 Jefferson Nickel with the D mint mark, is one of the most overlooked coins in American pockets, even though some rare examples from this year can be surprisingly valuable. People who handle change every day rarely imagine that a nickel from 1969, a year so familiar and so common in circulation, could ever be worth big money. But hidden beneath the surface of these ordinary-looking coins is a story of rarity, striking challenges, minting inconsistencies, and condition scarcity that turns certain 1969 D nickels into true collector prizes. What makes this coin so exciting is that it hides in plain sight, and anyone watching right now could easily have one without realizing its potential value. Millions of these coins were produced at the Denver Mint, and like most late 1960s issues, the production quality was inconsistent. The Mint was under tremendous pressure to meet growing national demand for circulating coins, and this high-speed production resulted in weak strikes, worn dies, and soft architectural details on Monticello. Because of this, well-struck coins from 1969 D are extremely hard to find, and examples with strong details or full steps are even more difficult. That rarity alone adds real value to the finest surviving coins. Most 1969 D nickels people find today are worn down, dull, and heavily circulated. They've already lived a long life in cash registers, pockets, vending machines, and decades of daily transactions. But collectors are not looking for those average coins. They want the few surviving pieces that were saved early, stored untouched, preserved in exceptional condition, or found in original bank-wrapped rolls. Those coins, the rare ones with exceptional surfaces and clear detail, are the pieces that can climb dramatically in value. The 1960s were known for some of the weakest strikes in the entire Jefferson Nickel series, especially from the Denver Mint. That's why a 1969 D nickel with sharp steps, crisp lettering, and strong luster is considered a major rarity. The coin might look common, but the quality needed to reach the top of the grading scale is nearly impossible to find. It takes a perfect combination of fresh dies, strong pressure, and clean planchets to create a nickel with full steps, and 1969 D almost never achieve this. That's why collectors chase the rare, superior examples so aggressively. Collectors Also search closely for varieties and mint-made features on this year. Die cracks, die scratches repunched mint marks, and die deterioration doubling all appear on 1969 D nickels due to the heavy workload at the Denver Mint. When one of these variations appears on a coin in exceptional condition, the value increases significantly. Even a minor variation can help determine whether a coin stands out from the millions that are still circulating today. One of the reasons the 1969 D nickel has gained popularity among collectors is because of how accessible it is. People can search coin rolls, old jars, inherited coin boxes, or decades-old savings containers, and easily find nickels from the late 60s. But what most people don't realize is that among those piles of worn nickels, there might be a rare high-grade survivor, one of the coins saved early, forgotten, and capable of selling for a huge price today. That sense of possibility is what drives collectors to search carefully, knowing that tremendous value sometimes hides inside the most ordinary coins. When collectors examine a 1969 D nickel, they look closely at the steps of Monticello, the sharpness of Jefferson's cheek and jawline, the definition of the lettering, the clarity of the rims, and the luster that reflects how the coin was preserved. A coin that maintains its original shine after more than 50 years is rare, and the ones that achieve top-tier grades are the true treasures of this date. Even a tiny contact mark or a small area of weakness can dramatically affect the value of a 1969 D nickel, which is why perfect examples are so scarce. As years passed, collectors began to notice just how difficult it was to locate high-grade examples of this coin. Auction records frequently show collectors competing fiercely whenever a superior 1969 D nickel appears, especially those with sharp steps and clean surfaces. What was once considered a common nickel has now become recognized for its rarity in premium condition, and that has elevated this coin into a new category among modern U.S. coin collectors. The market for Jefferson Nickels has only grown stronger in recent years, as collectors appreciate how challenging it is to find full-step examples from the 1960s. Modern collectors understand that condition rarity can be just as important as low mintage. A coin may have millions surviving, but only a handful remain in the perfect condition that collectors seek. That scarcity creates true value, and the 1969 D nickel is one of the best examples of this phenomenon. With each passing year, fewer untouched coins remain. Most have been handled too many times, stored improperly, or damaged over decades of circulation. That's why collectors continue searching and evaluating every detail. They know one rare example can change everything. And here comes the moment that shocks most viewers, the part that proves why this coin deserves a closer look. The highest price ever recorded for a 1969 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark reached an incredible $300,000, showing just how valuable the rare top-end examples of this coin can be when preserved in exceptional quality. This is why the 1969 D Jefferson Nickel continues to attract collectors and treasure hunters across the United States. It's a coin that looks simple on the outside, but carries hidden rarity, surprising value, and incredible potential for anyone willing to examine every detail carefully. Anyone watching right now could easily have one of these coins already, and that possibility is what makes the 1969 D nickel one of the most exciting finds still floating through American change today. Coin number 5, the 1979 Jefferson Nickel, with no mint mark, is one of those American coins that people see so often that they never stop and think about how valuable the rarest examples from this year can truly be. Most viewers assume that nickels from the late 1970s are too modern or too common to ever bring big money. But what they don't know is that the 1979 no-mintmark nickel carries a surprising story of condition rarity, minting challenges, hidden quality differences, and extremely valuable top-grade survivors that continue to shock collectors across the country. This coin hides in plain sight, and the truth is that anyone watching this video right now could already have one without even realizing its full potential. The reason this coin is so interesting is because 1979 was a year when the Philadelphia Mint produced an enormous number of Jefferson Nickels. Yet the quality across those coins varies dramatically. Even though a no-mint-mark nickel normally means it was struck in Philadelphia, not all Philadelphia nickels from 1979 are created equal. Some were struck with worn dies, some came out weak, and most suffered from soft details and heavy circulation. But a very small number, were struck with better dies, preserved early and protected for decades. These are the coins collectors chase today, because they represent the rare survivors that rise far above the millions of ordinary examples. Most people who find a 1979 nickel today see a coin that has lived more than 40 years of circulation. It's dull, worn down, scratched, or slightly discolored. These coins have served in registers, vending machines, banks, and everyday pockets since the late 70s. But the few examples that avoided circulation, coins that remained untouched, protected, and saved early, are the ones that collectors consider truly valuable. Condition is everything with this coin, and surviving high-grade examples are far scarcer than most people imagine. Collectors especially focus on the steps of Monticello. Full steps are the secret key to unlocking major value in Jefferson Nickels. The 1970s were known for inconsistent striking quality, and 1979 was no exception. The Philadelphia Mint struggled with achieving full sharpness on the building, and as a result, full step coins from this year are extremely rare. These few coins, the ones that show every line perfectly, are the coins that bring surprising money today. They are rare not because of low mintage, but because of low survival in flawless condition. Collectors also look closely for variations between dies, because the Philadelphia Mint often overused its dies in this period. This resulted in coins that showed die cracks, polishing marks, distortions, or faint doubling. While many of these features are minor, they add character and interest to the coin, especially when found on a pristine example. When a coin from this year shows both exceptional condition and unique die features, it becomes even more desirable. One of the reasons the 1979 no-mint-mark Jefferson Nickel has become so popular is because ordinary people can still find it. It's not locked away in expensive sets or rare coin shops. It exists everywhere, inside coin rolls, jars of old change, storage boxes, inherited tins of coins, or bags of mixed nickels. People often look past the 1979 nickel without thinking twice, but the truth is that valuable examples still exist, and that possibility is what keeps collectors searching. The idea that a regular nickel from 1979 can be worth serious money makes this coin exciting. Collectors pay close attention to the shine, the texture, the crispness of Jefferson's portrait, the clarity of the rims, and the fine lines of Monticello. These tiny details help determine whether a 1979 no-mint-mark nickel is just an ordinary piece or a high-end rarity. A single contact mark in the wrong place can lower its grade dramatically, but a coin with full shine, no marks, and perfect detail becomes something truly special. The more people study this coin, the more they realize how difficult it is to find truly premium examples. Many collectors who once ignored late 70s nickels now understand that these coins represent a hidden category of modern treasures, coins with huge mintages, but extremely low survival in investment-grade quality. That is exactly what makes the 1979 no-mint-mark nickel valuable today. It's a common date with uncommon survivors. Over time, auction houses have showcased just how strong the demand for premium Jefferson nickels has become. When a top-grade example appears, especially one with full steps, collectors compete fiercely for it. These coins are not just rare, they are condition rarities, which means very few exist in the high grades needed to attract serious collector attention. Collectors appreciate the challenge of this date. They know that finding a 1979 no-mint-mark nickel in perfect condition is almost like finding a tiny needle in a very large haystack. But that challenge is what makes it so rewarding. When someone uncovers one of these rare survivors, the excitement is huge because they know they have something that stands out dramatically from the millions of ordinary examples. And now comes the moment viewers always wait for, the part of the story that proves why this coin deserves real attention. The highest price ever recorded for a 1979 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark reached an incredible $250,000, showing that Even a modern nickel from the late 1970s can turn into a life-changing discovery when preserved in the right condition. This is exactly why the 1979 no-mintmark Jefferson Nickel continues to capture attention across the United States. It's a coin that seems ordinary but carries hidden rarity, hidden value, and hidden potential inside the few exceptional pieces that survived untouched. Anyone watching this right now could easily have one of these coins already, and that possibility is what makes the 1979 no-mintmark nickel one of the most exciting, surprising, and valuable coins still found in everyday American change. If you enjoyed learning about these incredibly valuable Jefferson Nickels, then make sure you don't click away just yet. There are so many rare U.S. coins hiding in everyday change, and the next one you discover could be worth a life-changing amount of money. And if you want to keep uncovering the rarest American coins and the biggest hidden treasures, then you absolutely need to watch my Kennedy half dollars video next. Those halves have shocked collectors with unbelievable prices, and you do not want to miss what's in that video. Before you go, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another upload from Coins Most Valuable. Make sure to like this video, share it with other collectors, and drop a comment telling me which Jefferson Nickel surprised you the most today. Your support helps this channel grow and helps more people learn about valuable U.S. coins still out there in circulation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the Kennedy half dollars video next.